Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you today about our need for power and how that impacts the ecosystem, and how we have taken that information and have grown our international exports by 900% last year. Think back or picture this, if you will, a romantic candlelight dinner. You're sitting with a loved one. You've been looking forward to this all day. There's thunder in the background, lightning flashing, and suddenly the power goes out, adding to the mystique and ambiance of that perfect moment. By show of hands, has that happened to anyone? Anyone? No? Well, we've all seen the commercial for it, so why not? Do you ever wonder what happens when the power goes out? Well, the power outages have an economic impact and an environmental impact. The Gartner Research Group conducted a study, and they estimate that billions of dollars are lost every year due to power outages. Billions. And that's a pretty big number. So let's drill down on that just a little. If the United States were to go dark for 1 minute in time, just 1 minute, that would equal a loss of $40,000 in unrealized credit card processing fees. The processing fees. Now, you all know that processing fees is a very small portion of the purchase. That is a lot of money to Visa and MasterCard. And the environmental impact of power outages. Alliant Energy estimates that 25% of all of their power outages are caused by animal interaction. Animals. And you're wondering, what type of animals are we talking about? Well, it really is a geographical issue. In the Northeast, for example, they have very large squirrels, and they like to run along the power lines. In the Southeast, they have iguanas that will climb power structures, an osprey that will nest. I'm going to talk to you about the Rocky Mountain region because we have a large population of birds of prey, raptors. And raptors are an indicator of a healthy ecosystem. And I have invited a special guest to join me here on stage this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Nikki Wayman. She is the Director of Education for Hawkwatch International. And she has brought with her a very special guest. This is Katori. Katori is a 4-year-old gray-horned owl. He is an education bird, and he has a very important job. His job is to visit high school biology classes across the state of Utah, educating our youth on the importance of raptors and our shared environment, and to encourage them to become stewards of our environment. I invited Katori and Nikki here today because I wanted all of you to have the opportunity to see a raptor up close and personal, because I think they're magnificent and beautiful. Let me tell you some fun facts about Katori. Katori's wingspan, tip to tip, is 5.5 feet. I am 5.5 feet. And he can turn his head 320 degrees. And if you were to take his eyes and proportionately place them on a human, they would be the size of softballs. Softballs. And he needs that because owls are nocturnal. I am not. They're less visible. But why raptors? Because there's certainly other species that are at the top of their food chain and are apex predators. But raptors are prevalent. If you pay attention tomorrow, you are very likely to see a raptor soaring overhead. Bears are also at the top of their food chain. You're very unlikely to see a bear on your commute to work tomorrow. And if you do, it will be on the news. But more importantly, raptors migrate. In one migration season, Katori, if he were in the wild, could migrate from Alaska to Argentina. It's a long distance. That opens up the opportunity for global collaboration, communication, study. What is their eating habits? How many mating pairs are there? And where are they nesting? But I know you're wondering, what do raptors have to do with exporting? And I'm going to tell you. But first, everyone, please give a round of applause to Katori and Nikki for being here. Thank you. And Katori and Nikki will be at the trade show after the presentation. So, what do raptors have to do with exporting? Well, in order to protect the ecosystem, it requires innovation, constant innovation, including innovation of our power grid. Let me tell you a story about my dear, sweet father-in-law, John Kaddas. He's also the founder of our company. John is very much like all of you in this room today. He is an entrepreneur. He is forward-thinking. He is always looking for an opportunity. So one Sunday afternoon, he's sitting in his lazy boy recliner, and he's watching a special on Nova and how bald eagles were facing endangerment. And John had an idea. I can make a plastic cover that would go over the top of an insulator, protecting a bird from electrocution and the utility from a power outage. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have bird guard products that are being shipped all over the world. And that came from one idea on a Sunday afternoon watching Nova. And there's certainly specific proprietary information within the plastic materials because it's not just any plastic. It needs to be flame retardant. It has dielectric strength. It has UV protection in it. But the idea and the design came from one afternoon watching a Nova special. And our need for power and our desire to protect the ecosystem is universal. That's not unique to us. We have recently started focusing our international efforts, our sales and marketing efforts internationally. We've received a contract with CFA, the federally owned utility in Mexico. We've received an accreditation from them as well. They flew a team up here to study our quality management system to make sure that we're a quality company and we can meet their needs. We've received a multi-year contract with them that we'll be shipping products to them for the next 3 years. And how did we go about getting into Mexico? Well, for us, we needed to be strategic. We followed migration patterns. We followed the birds. And the birds, again, will migrate from Alaska to Argentina in one migration season. So it was a very natural fit for us to get into Mexico. We've grown our international sales by 900%. But we're not done. We're going to continue looking for markets and opportunities because, as we've already discussed, it's more than just raptors. It's animals of all kinds. And everyone in this room has something in common. We work with and within the state of Utah. And Governor Herbert and his administration has made it very business friendly. So even a small business like Kaddas Enterprises can enter into the global marketplace. Some of the resources that we utilized in order to get there were the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. They helped identify those strategic niche areas that we could target. We've participated on trade missions with Governor Herbert to Israel, the UK, and to Mexico. We've received STEP grant funding to help offset the costs for a small business to reach those international markets. We work with the World Trade Center and the U.S. Commercial Trade Services. They help us identify decision makers in these regions so that we can have these one-to-one conversations and again, build those relationships in the markets that we want to target. So think back, if you will, to the romantic candlelight dinner. You're sitting there with your loved one, lightning flashing, thunder crashing, about to take that first sip of wine, sparkling cider, and the power doesn't go out. Next time, you'll know why. Thank you.